Okay, another Linux audio Soliloquy video. Finally. Hello and welcome back. This time I would like to make a video about the samples that you sent me. I asked you to send me a couple of samples so that I could do a little challenge, a little production challenge. And I actually recorded this video before, like 4 or 5 hours, but then realized that it was completely unusable because, again, thousands of cicadas happily singing outside. But yeah, so I actually already did the challenge and wanted to record and show everything that I did with your samples. I only worked like maybe for an hour on the track, and now I had to wait until it's night and finally a little bit more quiet outside. And so what I'm doing now is I'm not producing something from scratch again with the samples, but I rather show you what I did with these samples. And I think without further ado, let's jump in. Okay. So, sorry, this is the wrong screen. Yeah, let's start with Synonym, because in Synonym, I loaded up the samples that you uploaded to my Nextcloud. And the samples, I did not use all of them so far, but I want to show you the samples first and then want to show you what I did with them in Bitwig. So yeah, the first sample we have is a kick sound. Then kind of a snare sound. The next sound is, I don't know, some kind of an example bass sound. Then we have an open hi-hat or a tambourine rather. We have like some kind of a, super fat sound. Then some kind of a sub bass. Shakers. A closed hi-hat. And then actually something that I did not use yet, but I would love to use. So either I do it in this video or I use it in the next video, in a follow-up video, because as I said, like I worked maybe an hour on this track so far, and it's of course only like a draft right now, so it's not finished. I have to spend more time to finish it. But yeah, the guitar sounds like this. All right, so I didn't use that so far, and also these two chords I didn't use so far. But who knows, maybe in this session now when I show you what I did so far, maybe I can use it. Okay, and then I have like two sounds that are a little similar. One is like longer and the other shorter. This one is, I think, the longer. And then a bell sound that I also didn't use so far. And yeah, so for you who don't know, like Synonym is an amazing sample library manager for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, or in this case only for Linux. Okay. Yeah. So what I did so far is like in most of my projects, I have basically one master group, if you want. And on this master group, I usually have something like a limiter. In this case, I have Kazrock's Fantastics K-Clip. Then we have a drums group, a bass group, a synth group, an empty vocals and an empty effects group, and a reference track group, track that is also empty. And then we have an analysis track that I do not use so much right now. And then, of course, the output here. So I think the best would be that I show you step by step what I did with these sounds so far. And in most cases, like I said, like when I initially recorded that video, I of course showed you all the steps, how I usually work with sounds and when I use what device and how I process them. So I will not do all of this, but in some cases I want to show you a little bit what I did. So I think I do this right now. In most of the rhythm sounds, usually create a new track. Then I go to the device chain, open Bitwig's browser, insert a sampler, and then I basically take whatever sample I want to use and drag it into the sampler and then start to use it, apply effects and stuff, etc. So this is basically how I constructed most of this rhythm section here in the drums group. And the first thing I want to show you is, of course, the kick. So I solo this and let's play it. Then the next thing is the snare. And you can already hear that on the snare, I sent the signal to the fantastic Magic Verb by DDMF. By the way, in this setup here, I have my screen zoomed in a little bit so that you can see easier what I'm doing, but that also means that most of the plugin window sizes are screwed up in one way or another. So yeah, just so you know, like most of the times it will be okay, but in some cases the plugins will be tiny or giant or whatever. No? Okay, so kick, snare, and then shakers. And something that I often like to do is use like unconventional clip lengths. Not sure, but I think it's kind of something that I often do, yeah. And I always try at least to make it somehow, yeah, a little bit out of the norm. And then tambourine. And this loop here is something that is not from your samples. That's something that I added in the end. And let me first disable some of these things here that I can show you later. So the loop is basically just an acoustic drum set that I chopped up a little bit, and I chopped it up really dirty because, again, I did only spend 1 hour, and usually I would clean up all these things and make it more nice. But for the purpose of this challenge, I left it like that. So it sounds like this. Or basically without any processing, it sounds like this. Then I tweaked a little bit the transients. A little bit low cut. And then I used this fantastic brand new Linux audio, or it's not brand new, it's available since a while, but it's brand new on Linux. I'm not sure how they are pronounced. It's a Swiss vendor. Apulsoft, A-P-U-L-Soft, Apulsoft probably. And the plugin is called Opalize. It's a harmonics plugin, saturation plugin, and I think it's pretty cool. I did not spend too much time with it yet, but listen what it does to this loop. And so the entire rhythm section sounds like this. Okay, so now let's move on to the bass. In the bass, I used this, I think I used this sample here. Yeah. I also put it in a sampler device, so very simple. Then I added Sinuslab's fantastic KO. And I want to show you without and with, of course. And then I have a dynamic Bitwig Dynamics device that I sidechain the kick and basically massage the signal a little bit with the kick, basically duck it a little bit so that kick and bass have a little more space. And I think I show you this with the kick together. And then when I enable KO, just a little saturation so that it sounds a little bit more characterful. Okay, so then I think this one is basically for the last, how do you say? It's to intensify everything a little bit. So I think the first thing I want to show you is very simple. I think I used this one or this one here, this sound, to just make some kind of a chordy sound with a color copy, UHI color copy plugin to make like kind of a dubby repetition sound. Very simple, sounds like this. Maybe something in all of my devices in Bitwig, I have modified the default presets. And one thing I, especially for drum sounds, I often use is the Humanize device in Bitwig to introduce some timing variations, which I did not do so far, but I just realized that I always have this Humanize device in there, and I have very simple 2-band EQs to be able to do high pass, low pass modifications. And here on these shakers, you also see that I have an LFO on the modulator, and basically modulate left and right panorama a little bit. So, and I have little things like that throughout the session, to make it a little bit more alive. And so when we listen to all the things that we have so far, then it sounds like this. Okay, very simple. Then the next sound here, let's go to this sound first, because this is this fat Unipad sound. So I also just packed it in a sampler here in Bitwig, and I'm not sure what I did. Yeah, just some EQing and played some melodies with it. So the first instance would be like this. And what you can hear is this goes to Sala by Force. Sala is here on this channel. And here I also have, you can see it here, there's a modulator, also an LFO that basically modulates the dry and wet signal. And then also some mid-side processing where I basically make the reverb wider and less in the mid frequencies, in the mid spectrum. So less in the mid, more on the sides. And some panorama automation here as well, and then again some ducking with the kick and Bitwig's dynamics device. So very simple stuff here, but that's this. And then again, something that is not from the samples that you sent me, but I just wanted to use it because as many of you probably know, I don't have so much time to make music right now, but there's so many great things being ported to Linux right now. And one thing is this Soundbox. And Soundbox, I think, could be for me a replacement for Contact in the future. I really just barely scratched the surface and used this patch here from the Cosmo library. I think Cosmo library is something that I bought, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's also a bunch of other libraries that I should install, but I did not. Yeah, these ones here. So there's Mecha, Spectra, and Starlit that I want to install, but I didn't have the time to do so. But again, so this is just something that I used because I wanted to explore how this plugin works. And this basically goes to color copy. Just a little delay. I love color copy, so simple. Always sounds good to my ears. And then this last thing that I used, I think, is this one. I also packed it in a sampler, like in all the other instances, also put some KO on top to have a little bit distortion or saturation if you want. And that sounds like this. Very simple, and goes here to the basic Bitwig convolution device. And I think here I have some plate reverb, a short plate reverb, medium plate reverb. Okay, and so I would say let's listen to these 3 scenes here. It's kind of a small build up. Okay. so that's basically what I did in this hour that I recorded step by step for you to show you how I did it, and unfortunately screwed it up with the audio quality. Yeah, so for me, when I have more time, I want to really improve the situation here so that the room is better insulated, because right now it's this concrete room with, like, I would say 1/3 is glass surface, that directly outside is jungle, and it's very loud, almost impossible for me to treat. So I will have at one point to do something like a room in room, which I hope I will be able to do soon. I anyways hope that I will be able to make more music. Right now I'm still like really occupied with stabilizing the ice cream sales and finishing the sauna. The sauna, we fired up the oven a couple of days ago, was a bit of a failure, but very interesting, good learnings about smoke distribution and stuff, like that it needs suction, and yeah, more on that maybe in another video or in a future episode when we celebrate the sauna opening. But yeah, so, and also when I record videos, I'm often annoyed that the microphone picks up all kinds of noises from the table, and I have to improve so many things. When I came here to Thailand, I really just basically set up a rough studio so that I could do some things, but there were so many problems in the beginning with electricity, and then, yeah, now lots of things to iron out, and at the moment my budget is very tight, so I cannot invest in big improvements, but yeah, step by step. All right, so that's basically what I wanted to show, that in this video. This was the sample challenge with the samples that you sent me. Yeah, so maybe let's try to do something else with some of these sounds. Okay, listen, I would say we listen a little bit to just the Synth Group. Maybe I can do something with some of these, yeah, in between the chords, because I think in order to use the chords, I would have to rearrange like the rest of the song a little bit, need more time. And now it's already late at night, and I just wanted to record this video to actually be able to upload something again and show you that I'm still alive and that I'm still working on stuff. But maybe I can do something with this. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new track, an audio track in this case, and I'm going to put this guitar here so that we can do something with it. So now I have it here in Bitwig, and maybe, let's see, I think what I wanted to use is something like this. So where was that? This is actually also something that I need to learn to do better in Bitwig, because sometimes it's crazy when you don't work with a software for such a long time, or not steadily, then you have certain things that you cannot overcome. And one thing is that when I have the samples in the clip view, I cannot start the playback from wherever I want. So I only know how to do it when it's in the arrange. So sometimes I have to do it here. I think this is what I wanted to use for now. So I would say let's select this, and for this moment I would say throw everything else away. It's sad, but again, I don't have so much time right now, and I want to try something out. All right, so, and now I move this over to the clips again. I have so many things also to catch up with in Bitwig, how to do things ideally, but yeah, and this is also Bitwig 6, which is amazing, but also, yeah, many things are new to me, and so that's why I didn't have a lot of time to play around with them. Okay, but now we have this snippet here, and I would say let's listen to this isolated quickly. I'm not sure if I can do anything with this now, but let's try to chop it up a little bit. first of all, let's make it not click. Guess it makes sense to have a new scene here to experiment with these things, something that maybe matches this, like another phrase or something in this track. So let's go back in the context of the entire project again, and let's see what we can do with this. Okay, so now that I know that this more or less works like that, even though I'm not 100% convinced that it's correct like this, but, oh, sorry, wrong key. Maybe I can try to find some of the other chords and see what we could do with these eventually. Now, for the moment, I just chop this up a little bit, maybe make sure that it doesn't click and... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so let's find something else that could work. Something of the small, from the shorter parts here. Maybe, let's see. No, also not at all. What else do we have? These are the long ones. These are the short ones here. I think probably this is like, I don't know, in German I would say a Sackgasse, a dead end, but let's see. All right. It's not a genius move, and it's also very sad because the chords in the guitar were actually so cool. So I will need to try a second time to do something with this guitar, with this guitar sample. All right, but yeah, so I'm happy that I could finally still, because I already gave up today, actually, I'm happy that I still could record the video for you. And yeah, I hope that you found it somewhat interesting, even though it was not that interesting as I planned something completely different. I wanted to really show you how I do things and how I chop things up. But then again, it's also like super basic stuff. And yeah, quick and dirty and not refined yet. But yeah, if you would like to see me maybe in a longer session, finish this and refine it, let me know. And otherwise, I would say, I hope I can get back to the other ideas that I had to make videos and the requests that some of you made in the comments, and make more videos very soon and not have such a big break like I had now between the last video and this video. Okay, but enough of the talking, and thank you very much for watching the video. And yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I cannot say it enough. Like, making music on Linux gets better and better and better, and it's actually crazy right now. It's really cool, like the stuff that gets out, and also like the stuff that will come out in the near future. So many great things. Check out the plugin, the Linux audio support request tracking, I think is the entire name on the Linux audio development website. There's really great things coming, and I can only encourage you to try to switch to Linux. It's really cool, and I think it's very rewarding. It's of course not perfect, but yeah, I hope you can see that it's possible to do something. And yeah, another thing is that many people would like to see me explain how I do things in Pipewire, how I use it, and why I think it's great, because apparently many people seem to struggle with this. This is also something that I want to do soon. It's one of these videos that I have planned. Okay, guys, thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.